Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel, as well as my other YouTube channels, and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons & Dragons story. There's always an or worse. I've had a saying in tabletop role-playing games since the 70s. There is always an or worse. What that means is that no matter how bad things seem, they can always get worse. There's always an or worse. This axiom has been factually true forever. And not just in tabletop role-playing games. It works in life, too. It can always get worse. There's always an or worse. One specific story from my United States Air Force days exemplifies this axiom to perfection. I was playing in my friend Art's game. Art was an excellent dungeon master, on par with the best I've ever seen or even heard of. Our group consisted of 7 players. One of our group was an ill-rigger. For those of you who don't know, an ill-rigger is an evil paladin, a type of a lawful evil paladin. I never liked the character, but to be honest, I never liked the player either. He was one of those smug little weasels who was perfectly happy using people in real life to get what he wanted. On top of that, his character was a lawful evil ill-rigger who served as Modius. And my character had morals. He was a little more upstanding than that. I was running a fighter thief. Through the course of the game, I was running a fighter thief, but I was more fighter than thief. I'll just leave it at that. Through the course of the game, our characters were constantly at odds. I think Art knew we didn't like each other, and he moderated it, but he let it continue for a reason, and you'll see why. The Ill-Rigger player had a buddy who played a deep gnome, and I honestly cannot remember the class that he played. I want to say it was a cleric, but this guy, he wasn't the player I liked. The character I didn't like because of things that he did in the game. My character didn't like his character, but the deep gnome, I actually liked the guy. He was a good guy. Long story short, the bickering came to a head in an underground complex near a huge lake. There was an old dock and a rickety boat on this underground lake. The group sided with my fighter thief, and the deep gnome sided with the ill-rigger. Seeing that he was outnumbered, the ill-rigger grabbed his wrist bracelet. He had a bracelet on his wrist. It had been there forever. We didn't know what it was. He'd never touched it or used it or whatever. We just thought it was ornamental. But he grabbed this bracelet and uttered a command word, and a pit fiend appeared near the dock. The deep gnome summoned an earth elemental. The fight was on. Our wizard hit the ill-rigger with a lightning bolt, and the thief backstabbed him, and essentially they killed him outright. It was, the ill-rigger, for all of his boasting, he wasn't exceptionally physically tough, but he had other abilities that made him capable. But in this particular fight, we were pretty high level, as I recall, something like 14th level. So the lightning bolt and then the thief's backstab pretty well did him in. I attacked the deep gnome along with the cleric and the fighter. The elemental attacked the fighter. The pit fiend gated in another pit fiend. The next round, and by the way, the next round, the cleric and the wizard and I killed the deep gnome. The elemental went away. Because I'm not sure why that happened, but that's the way Art played it, and I wasn't complaining. We had pit fiends to deal with. The first pit fiend hit us with a wall of fire. The second pit fiend gated in a third pit fiend. If you don't know what a pit fiend is, they're personal servants of Asmodeus. They are nasty. They are big, bad, nasty devils. They are nasty. Then now we had 3 of them. The fighter failed his savings throw against the wall of fire, and he was almost dead. The next round, the wizard said, fuck this, and teleported away. The thief was killed outright. The first 2 pit fiends attacked the group, while the third pit fiend gated in a pair of barbed devils. I realized we were not going to win this, so I asked the cleric what he could do and to get us the hell out of there. He said wait for his initiative, so we had to wait. The pit fiends knocked me unconscious and killed the fighter. On the cleric's initiative, he grabbed my fighter thief and used word of recall to transport us back to his temple. What started out as a conflict within the party turned into a horror show, pitting 3 pit fiends and a pair of barbed devils against my fighter thief, a cleric, and a fighter. It went from bad to worse, and it was almost a total party kill, even after one faction of player characters were done. If it wasn't for the cleric, my fighter thief would have died. We still don't know what happened to the wizard. To this day, the player made up a new character and joined the group because he didn't want to keep running that wizard because he'd ran away. The moral of the story is, remember, no matter how bad things seem in the game, no matter how desperate the situation, no matter what the odds are, there's always an or worse. It could always get worse. Just saying, there's always an or worse. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. There is a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. When the police detective, who happens to be a skinwalker squirrel, uncovers a plot by a paranormal perpetrator, he has to enlist the aid of his fellow housemates. If you enjoy a modern, quirky take on historical mythology, check out my new original novel, The House Off Farrago Road.